You buy a half-ton to tow, not to flex a window sticker. So picture this. You hook up a 7,000-pound camper, point your truck at the interstate, set cruise at 70, and watch the dash MPG just fall through the floor. You did what everyone told you to do, bought the efficient twin-turbo EcoBoost because Ford said it tows like a diesel and sips like a V6. Then GM sends a 6.2-liter V8 Silverado to the same real-world towing tests. And the big hungry V8 walks away with better towing MPG than Ford's 3.5 EcoBoost. That's the "wait, what?" moment this video is about. GM didn't just shock Ford on a dyno, they did it where your wallet actually feels it. 7,000 pounds on the hitch, 70 miles per hour, 90+ miles of highway. Independent tests have the 6.2 Silverado doing about 10.7 miles per gallon towing that load, while comparable F-150s with the 3.5 EcoBoost are down around 9 to 9.1 miles per gallon, and older calibrations worse. On paper, that's backwards. In your bank account, that's real money. Tonight we're going to break down why GM's V8 is beating Ford's EcoBoost in towing MPG, show you the actual numbers from these towing loops, and run the 5-year fuel math so you can stop buying a story and start buying the engine that fits how you actually tow. The villain? EcoBoost equals efficiency, no matter what. Ford's been selling you one idea for over a decade. Smaller turbo engine plus big torque equals diesel-like grunt and great MPG. On the spec sheet, it looks airtight. A 2024 F-150 3.5 EcoBoost 4x4 is EPA rated around 16 city/24 highway/19 combined. A Silverado 1500 with the 6.2 V8 4x4 is more like 15/20/17. You glance at that and think, EcoBoost tows the most. EcoBoost gets better MPG. Why would I feed a 6.2 premium if it drinks more and tows less? That's the villain. Spec sheet thinking that assumes whatever wins on the EPA label also wins with 7,000 pounds behind you. Under load, that falls apart. Owners have been hinting at this for years. EcoBoost guys complaining about 8 to 10 miles per gallon towing mid-sized travel trailers. Ford forum posts saying they actually see better towing MPG with a V8 than with the EcoBoost because the turbos stay spooled the whole time. GM owners pointing out that when you're pulling on real grades, a 6.2 will often match or edge EcoBoost on fuel, even though the EPA stickers say the opposite. GM just gave all of that a scoreboard. What GM just did in the towing tests. Let's talk about the test that really matters here. TfL Truck runs an MPG challenge on I-76 in Colorado. 98 miles, flat as they can find, constant 70 miles per hour, tow haul on, and a 7,000-pound box trailer behind every half-ton. It's built to mimic exactly what a lot of you do with campers and enclosed trailers. When you look at their half-ton gas numbers, 2017 Silverado 1,506.2 V8 4x4, about 10.7 miles per gallon towing. 2017 Shachi F-150 3.5 EcoBoost 4x4, about 9.1 miles per gallon towing. Older 3.5 EcoBoost F-150, down around 8.5 miles per gallon. Even the 2019 F-155.0 V8 comes in at about 9.8 miles per gallon, still behind the 6.2 Silverado. Read that again. Thirsty. 6.2 V8 beats Ford's 3.5 EcoBoost and 5.0 V8 in a like-for-like towing loop. Dealers are quietly starting to say the same thing. GM's 6.2 often edges out the F-150 EcoBoost in real-world towing because of how it makes torque and how it's geared. So no, this isn't GM fan fiction. It's instrumented testing plus owner experience, all pointing the same direction. Underload, EcoBoost isn't the MPG hero you were sold. Why the V8 wins when you actually hitch something up? Here's the physics version without any brand paint. 1. Turbos don't do eco and boost at the same time. A turbo gas engine makes torque by stuffing more air in and then dumping more fuel in to keep it safe. Under boost, you have to run richer, more fuel per unit of air, so you don't melt pistons or valves. GM guys summed it up perfectly in a forum post. You can have eco or boost, but not both at once. Put 7,000 pounds behind an F-150 EcoBoost and try to hold 70 miles per hour on a slight grade. Turbo's light, engine jumps into enrichment, fuel flow spikes. Exactly the scenario you bought the engine for. Towing is where EPA cycle eco vanishes. 2. The big NAV8 plays a different game. The 6.2 Silverado is a 420 horsepower / 460 pound-feet naturally aspirated V8 with a long intake runner, a good torque plateau, and gearing that keeps it in its happy zone. When it's towing that same 7,000-pound trailer, it spins a bit higher RPM than the EcoBoost at light load, but it stays out of enrichment more of the time. So over hours of highway towing, it can actually burn less fuel for the same work. That's exactly what you see in the approximately 10.7 miles per gallon versus 9.1 miles per gallon towing result. 3. EcoBoost pays a complexity tax under heat. To keep a boosted V6 alive while towing, the calibration leans heavily on rich mixtures, again, more fuel. Conservative spark when things get hot. Intercoolers, extra plumbing, and a lot of thermal management. The truck might feel fantastic. EcoBoost does pull hard, but the cost shows up at the pump. The V8 is simpler. No turbos, fewer knock-sensitive components, less plumbing to heat soak. That doesn't mean it's cheap to run, but it means the calibration doesn't have to dump fuel every time you crest a hill with a headwind. The 5-year fuel math, where GM really shocks Ford. Let's turn those towing MPG numbers into actual dollars. Use the TFL loop as a baseline. Silverado 6.2 V8, 10.7 miles per gallon, towing 7,000 pounds. F-153.5. EcoBoost, 9.1 miles per gallon in a comparable configuration. Assume you tow 3,000 miles a year with a decent-sized camper or enclosed trailer. Gas is $3.75 per gallon. Silverado's 6.2 fuel use while towing. 3,000 miles divided by 10.7 miles per gallon is approximately 280 gallons per year. 280 times $3.75 is approximately $1,050 per year. F-150. EcoBoost fuel use while towing. 3,000 miles divided by 9.1 miles per gallon is approximately 330 gallons per year. 330 times $3.75 is approximately $1,235 per year. That's about $185 more per year in fuel just from towing with the EcoBoost instead of the 6.2 V8 at the same miles. Over 5 years, you're out roughly $900 to $1,000 more on fuel. Again, from the truck that's supposed to be the efficient choice. If you're a heavier use guy doing 5,000 towing miles a year, the gap widens. Now you're looking at roughly 80 extra gallons a year in the EcoBoost versus the 6.2. That's about $300 per year or $1,500 over 5 years. And remember, that's only the towing miles. Empty, the EcoBoost does have a sticker advantage, but in the real world, a lot of owners are reporting that the gap is way smaller than the EPA says, or even reversed if they drive their V8 smart and live in hilly terrain. So the whole "I'll save money with EcoBoost" story? Once you actually tow, it starts to look pretty thin. Quick pause here. If you like seeing this kind of ugly math laid out instead of just hearing "best in class" in a commercial, hit subscribe. This channel exists so you don't find out about this stuff from your gas receipts and a forum rant. But I need max tow and torque, where EcoBoost still makes sense. This isn't a brand war video, it's a use case video. EcoBoost still has some real advantages. It hits big torque early and hard. If you're hauling near max tow a lot, that low RPM shove is legit. At altitude, turbos help you keep power where a big NAV8 starts to feel wheezy. If most of your life is unloaded, commuting with only occasional towing, the EcoBoost's empty MPG and acceleration might matter more to you than its towing thirst. If that's you, you're swapping trucks every 3 to 4 years. You're towing a couple of weekends a year. You care more about 0 to 60 and daily drive feel than 5-year fuel math. Then yeah, a 3.5 EcoBoost F-150 can absolutely be a smart, fun choice. Just don't lie to yourself about why you're buying it. You're buying power and speed, not some secret fuel economy hack under load. When GM's 6.2 V8 is the smarter move. Here's who GM just quietly won over with these towing tests. You tow 4,000 to 9,000 pounds regularly. Campers, enclosed trailers, toys. You care more about stable, predictable pulls than drag strip numbers. You plan to keep the truck 7 to 10 years, not just through one lease. You're okay running premium fuel if it means lower stress and better towing MPG overall. In that world, the 6.2 Silverado/Sierra combo gives you a simple, big displacement V8 with proven towing manners. Better or equal towing MPG versus the EcoBoost in independent tests. Slightly lower EPA empty miles per gallon that often shrinks in real use. Less turbo-related complexity and enrichment drama. Put bluntly, if you bought EcoBoost purely to save money while towing a real trailer, GM's 6.2 V8 just made that argument look pretty dumb. How to spec and drive so you actually win. Whichever side you're on, here's how to not sabotage your own truck. 1. Get the right axle ratio. If you're towing consistently, don't cheap out on gears. F-150. Skip the economy axle if you're pulling big. Let the truck sit in its torque band. Silverado/Sierra, pair the 6.2 with the tow-friendly axle. It's part of why it does so well in those MPG loops. 2. Use tow haul like it's your job. Both trucks are tuned to manage heat and shift logic in that mode. If you try to hypermile in normal mode with a trailer, you'll just make the transmission and engine do dumb things and burn more fuel. 3. Keep the cooling stack clean and fluids fresh. Hot trans, hot oil, and cooked intercoolers are how any modern truck, EcoBoost or V8, turns into a meme. Clean the radiator and intercooler stack from the back at least once a year, more if you tow. 4. Be honest about tires and lifts. Throwing 35s and a level kit on either truck without regearing will murder your towing MPG and make every comparison meaningless. You're not proving an engine is bad. You're proving physics still works. The bottom line, GM didn't shock Ford by slapping a bigger number on a brochure. They shocked them by showing up to real towing tests with a big displacement V8, letting independent testers run 7,000-pound trailers at 70 miles per hour, and walking away with better towing MPG than the engine that was supposed to be the efficiency king. EcoBoost is still a monster for power and altitude, but if you're the guy who actually tows real weight, actually cares about dollars per mile over 5 years, and would rather have simple, honest torque than a complicated boost and enrichment dance, then GM's 6.2 V8 just made a very strong case for itself. Next video, we're going to put this same microscope on Ram's Hurricane Turbo 6 versus their old Hemi V8 and see if they fall into the same trap Ford did. So, if you don't want to get blindsided by the next efficient engine on a spec sheet, stick around.